Hi, it's Ange, otherwise known as Pumpkin Geek, and yes, this video is slightly late, and yes, I'm having to live stream it again. And I've had thoughts about whether I should actually discuss this topic or not, but feck it, it's my channel, so I'm going to. This week it was Hidden Disabilities Day. Can't remember when. I saw it on my timeline, and I have some thoughts, as the title may suggest. So I myself would class myself as having a hidden disability because I have a long-term something that the doctors have yet to work out what that can make me, well, I'm not going to get into the details, but I would class myself as somebody who has a hidden disability, and not just because I have asthma and allergies and depression and all of that stuff, but because of something that, well, I haven't had a diagnosis for, and basically the doctors have given up trying to figure out what. At least I have for now. And frankly, I've got more on my plate to worry about than trying to get a diagnosis for it. It is what it is, and it only impacts on my life occasionally, so why bother having another diagnosis and sticking another label on me? But yeah, but this is a point I was getting to after all of that ramble. Sometimes people with hidden disabilities may not look disabled, and this can be very, very fun when using public transport. I mean, if you have read in the news or on Twitter anything lately, you will probably have come across reports of how wheelchair users are having issues accessing public transport, be it people are refusing to remove their prams away from the wheelchair space or whatever. Yeah, it's not just wheelchair users that have issues. The amount of times I've had to stand on a train because nobody is willing to give up a seat, or there is no seats available, is shocking. But let's get onto buses and old people, like the topic of my title. Now, in the UK, the first two rows of seats are generally reserved for the following categories: pregnant people, mother and child, depending on the service, people with mobility issues, and old people. Now, generally, not an issue, but the amount of times I have packed my, yes, admittedly overshaped arse onto one of them front seats because I've just simply needed to for whatever reason, and an old person has complained about it, is unreal. Now, I long to not have a damn, like old people seem to, or at least some old people seem to, about what I say and whether my actions offend, because the amount of times I've been told, this is my seat and you shouldn't be sat in these seats because you're not old, I've lost count over the years, seriously. So yeah, it can cause conflict, and if there's a seat for me to move to, I will move because I just don't want to get into it. But I shouldn't have to explain why I'm sat in that seat. Them seats are not like the reserve of old people and old people only. I shouldn't have to explain whether I'm pregnant or disabled to be able to sit in them seats, especially if there is other seats available. Now, obviously, I'm going to stand up and let a pregnant person or a child or even an old person sit down if there is no other seats available, and I'm able to, because that is just common decency at the end of the day, and I was brought up proper. But if I'm sat in one of them seats, I shouldn't be challenged about why I'm sat in one of them seats. And if I'm having this as somebody who will only sit in them seats when I absolutely need to, I would hate to be in the person's shoes who needs to sit in them seats, Or, sometimes I will have to use the disabled toilet because I have a condition that means if I have to go, I have to go. And I shouldn't be getting challenged about that either. People need to realise that not all disabilities are noticeable, but at the same time, disabled people shouldn't have to explain themselves. We are not going to take the piss by using toilets to try and queue jump or using seats because we're lazy. And people just need to start getting over this attitude of you don't look ill, or you don't look disabled, or you're young enough and able enough, so shift because I'm old and this is my seat. Yeah. I may do a proper sort of time to talk on this and look up the facts and figures or whatever, but, at the end of the day, we all have to share the planet, we all have to share public transport, so people just need to stop being dicks about it. If a person's sat there, more often than not, they need to be sat in that disabled person's seat or use the disabled loo, and they might not look like they need to, but there's reasons behind it that can be embarrassing or uncomfortable to talk about, especially for young people. So stop challenging us and just accept it, because it's awkward enough having to use them facilities or use them seats as it is already. Anyhow, I've been Ange and I've rambled on, and I will hopefully see you on Wednesday with a more properly planned out video. But for now, bye.